So, we're here in Sha'ar HaYichud Tzfat, and we are going to be learning today a little bit of Torah from a beautiful book called Michtam Shalom Yerushalayim, a letter of peace from Jerusalem. This is a book written by the tzaddik Rabbi Aharon, Eliyahu Rafael Moshe ben Judita ben Itzhak. He was a tzaddik that passed away 180 years ago and lived in Beit El. He was born in Soloniki, which is a hub of Jews that had been expelled from Spain and Portugal, that resettled in Soloniki. He was born there and made it to Eretz Yisrael. Jerusalem was his whole entire heart. Everything he loved in life was Jerusalem. And this tzaddik was a very unique tzaddik who over the past 3 years I've been trying to learn more and more about. We're from the same family. I'm not a descendant of his, but we're from the same family, and I'm trying to figure out more and more about him. The first time I saw his name in a book, I cried my eyes out. And that started a journey of just trying to figure out what is it that caused me to start crying so profusely from just seeing a few letters in a book. Since then, I found out that we have pretty much similar names. I was married on the day he passed. I named my son after him. I found out from an inclination of reading his books that he was connected to Chassidut, to Baal Shem Tov, and specifically to Rabbi Nachman. I was certain of it. I asked the Kabbalist in charge of reprinting all of his books. He told me, no, you don't know what you're talking about. I went to another Kabbalist that wrote all of his books, that did all the editing of his books and really did the research and the work. And he said, yeah, for sure. Let me show you here where he quotes Rabbi Natan word for word, and here where he quotes Sefer Midot from Rabbi Nachman. And not only that, he used to learn from Rabbi Aharon, especially from the students of the Balatanya, that he had a book called Sha'ar HaYichud, the gates of unity. And our place here is called Sha'ar HaYichud, the gate of unity. So there's a lot of connections here. And I love his teachings. He's all about peace. He's all about Jerusalem, the Shekhinah. And he loves his Yichudim. He loves his different deep things. And Zat Hashem, I'm going to read a little bit of an idea on the idea of peace. We're coming to, right, we're in Elul and we're coming closer to Rosh Hashanah. And one of our main goals that we need to do in our life is to make peace. And we have a chavur here every single week learning about how to make inner peace between our soul, our mind, and our body. But we also need to know that we need this peace with other people and with Hashem. The more we have inner peace, the more we'll see peace all around us. So B'ezrat Hashem, these words from Rav Itzhak Pereira will help us to get a little bit of a clear view on the importance of shalom in our life. B'ezrat Hashem.
Where's Soloniki?
Soloniki?
Yeah,
it's Greece.
Greece. Okay.
It's Greece now, yeah.
Greece,
Turkey, Ottoman Empire back then, but...
Sure. And, so back then, as in, what was his time?
He died 180 years ago.
Okay.
He was born in the 1800s and... late 1700s. Yeah.
Cool. Oh, yeah.
There's pictures of his students. One of his students, Rav Yosef Akiva Schlesinger. I don't know if you heard this name before, Shimi. He was a very interesting guy. Haredi, not Zionist, Haredi, but wanted everybody to come to Eretz Yisrael. He started to write alachot, all the laws of making a government and politics within Torah. And he wanted to make army and units called Loch Miel, all these different angel names of warrior angels, and to put these names on the units of the soldiers so that they would have extra backing from soldiers, from angels up above. And they put a cherem on him in Europe. And his father-in-law used to support him and told him, listen, I love you, but, you're trashing my name. And he told him, please, tone it down. And he told him, I can't support you going to Eretz Yisrael, and you're trying to raise money and tell all the rabbis here that he went to the Rav Teitelbaum, not the Satmar, before, and told him, and they put a cherem on this guy, Rav Schlesinger. In the end, he finally, his father-in-law had to find out the hard way. He stopped supporting him, and then he had angels and visions coming to him, telling him, you're going against Eretz Yisrael. Your son-in-law is trying to bring people to Eretz Yisrael, and you're fighting it. Are you out of your mind? So he told him, listen, just go. I'll support you. Just get out of here. Go. So he went, and his Rebbe became Rav Itzhak Pereira, and obviously madly in love with Eretz Yisrael and Yerushalayim.
Was he
And Rav Schlesinger, in the end, he made Aliyah. He was a student of Rav Pereira in Jerusalem. And he's a very, very interesting figure that was extremely doing the same thing as the Zionists, but within Kedusha, not at all from secular motives. So, and there's pictures of that guy. So we're not that far away, right?
Not at all.
Tov, he says like this. The rabbis teach us about the importance of peace, and the fact that Talmidei Chachamim, people that learn a lot of Torah every day, are increasing peace in the world. And he starts the teaching off in the book with Yud Ke Vav Ke, like every Kabbalist, including the Rambam did. Right? The first 4 letters of the book is Yud Ke Vav Ke. Yodea HaMa'atzil u'mevin HaYotzer shedivrei shalom ve'emet halalu lid'a ve'lohodia ve'livada l'chol ha'olam. It's known, Hashem knows that it's truly his deepest desire that these words of peace and truth will be known, made known, and be lived throughout every facet of the world. She'anachnu Yisrael dafka velo zulat. It's Am Yisrael specifically and no other nation. Ve'chen Yerushalayim tikonen ve'tikbonen. Hi ha'ir asher bachar Hashem lechelko. It's the Jewish nation and no other nation, and it's Jerusalem and no other place that Hashem chose to reveal Himself. Uvachar od b'Yerushalayim ve'hi nikret yafeh nof mesos kol haaretz. Chose Jerusalem. This is called the beautiful view, the beautiful place, the joy of the whole entire land of Israel. Ir aleinu har kodsho, city of God, a holy mountain. V'lechen tzarich le'ehov ota b'chol levavenu v'chol nafshenu v'chol me'odenu. Therefore, we have to love Jerusalem with all of our heart, with all of our soul, with all of our might. Ki b'shloma yesh shalom lanu l'chol Yisrael v'chol ha'olam. If there's peace in Yerushalayim, there's peace for us, for all of Am Yisrael, and for the whole entire world. Gam kol echad miYisrael tzarich le'ehov et chavero ke'echav mamash. Every single Jew has to love his brother, love his fellow Jew like he's his brother, mamash. Sha'arei haguf shel kulanu bnei Yaakov Yisrael Avinu. Our bodies, they're all connected to our forefather, Yaakov, right? Israel is our forefather. We all came from him. U'me'imotenu ha'kadoshot banu. We all came from the holy foremothers. U'mitzad ha'neshama achim anachnu mamash. On the side of our souls, we're mamash brothers. Not like we're like brothers. On the side of the soul, we're all children of the same forefathers and foremothers. We are siblings. Like it's written in Rashit Chochmah, in Sha'ar HaNava, Halo beveten oseni asau v'chonenu barechem echad. Hashem made us in the stomach of the womb, so to say, of the soul of Israel. We're all formed together. We all came from the same pregnancy. All the souls of Israel were given birth to at the same time. And now they came down in fragments into each one of us, 15 million Jews, 14 million Jews, whatever number we want to pick, right? So there's only ever 600,000 souls. They were all formed together, and they split into all of the Jews that we have alive now. Meaning, all of the souls that were in Rachel Imenu is not just Rachel, the physical mother that we're talking about, although there's a hint to that as well, right? But it's known that we have four mothers that even married Yaakov, Rivka, Sarah, but Rachel Imenu is the Shekhinah, is so to say the soul of Israel. The place that's called Rachel Imenu, he says, V'sham shishim ribo shel kol Yisrael b'keres echad. Right? The Chazal teach us that in Egypt, each woman has 6 children in her stomach at once. Right? What's that a hint to? The fact that the Shekhinah, Rachel Imenu, had 600,000 at once in her stomach. We said all these souls of Israel were formed together, like it's written from the Marchu. Rav Chaim Vital writes about this on the Drushim about the Yetzer Hara and the Yetzer Tov. So on the side of the Neshamot, we're mamash brothers. Not only brothers, we're twin brothers from the same stomach at the same time, the same pregnancy. Therefore, tzarich shelo leharot pirud b'kedusha chas v'shalom. We could never ever show separation in kedusha, in the nation of Israel, in the holy nation of Israel. We should have no separations. Ki sham hakol achdut gmura. Aynu behiyot achdut lemata besod tnu oz leElohim. Hashem al Yisrael ga'avato ve'uzo b'shechhakim. When there's unity down here between the souls of Israel, that so to say gives strength to God, right? And then up above, so to say, too, there is this peace, there is this unity above. Like the rabbis wrote in the pasuk, "Aboneh b'shamayim aliyota v'agudato al eretz yesada." Hashem, so to say, builds in the heavens, but it's all formed and bundled. And the foundation is down here in the land. Kabbalah, again, from this word makbil, parallel. What happens up there happens down here. What happens down here affects what happens up there. היינו משל המלך שבנה פלטין גדול על גבי 4 ספינות גדולות. There's a mashal, a parable for a king who builds a castle on the back of 4 ships. 4 big ships in the ocean, and on the back of these ships he builds a castle. אם הספינות באחדות, ודאי הפלטין עומד. If the boats, the ships stay unified, for sure the castle will stay standing. ואין צריך לומר בהפך בר מינן. You don't have to say what happened, God forbid, if one of those ships starts to veer off. כי הכל בהתערותא דלתתא יתער לעילא. Everything goes according to the arousal that we have down below. That's what's going to be up above. כי אנחנו צלם עלה. We are the shadow of what's going up above. We are the shade of the heavens. אם האדם, it's not בעל שם טוב? אם האדם פותח היד לצל, גם הצל פותח יד. You open your hand, also your shade, your shadow opens its hand. אם להפך בר מינן, so too, God forbid, the opposite. בר מינן. He has another place, בר מינן, or is it ואין עצב בם. There's no depression in them. What's it? אין עצב בם, בר מינן. וכזה נראה נקדש לגרום ייחוד ושלום למעלה, וזה סוד פסוק הנזכר בישעיהו. This is the secret of how do we make peace down up above and through down here. This is the secret of what's written in Yeshayahu in the 27th chapter in the 5th verse. או יחזק במעוזי יעשה שלום למטה לכבודי. How do you strengthen everything up above? You make peace down here in the honor of Hashem. כי על ידי זה שלום יעשה לי למעלה, ומעוזי רוצה לומר התורה שנקרא עוז. This peace that you make above, how does that come down? How do you hold down peace down here? Oz, strength in the Torah, is always a hint to Torah itself. Oz. Right? So the pasuk said again, "Yichazek b'ma'ozi," hold on to my Torah. Yaseh shalom lemata lichvodi. You will make peace down below. Again, if you hold on to the Torah, you're making a better society. Do not, when I say something like, go now and look at the rest of the world and look out and see these people wearing black hats and suits that don't act nice, right? The majority of them are mensches, majority of them are very, very good people. There could always be jerks in every society and bad people everywhere, right? When we talk about the cloud, though, the all-encompassing rule, we're talking about the all-encompassing rule. All-encompassing rule, a person that learns Torah and tries to keep it is a much better person than 90% of the world, if they're really, really applying it. They understand all-encompassing ideas of peace, not just limited societal beliefs that can change every few years, right? The Nazis, for example, were amazing about manners and ethics and animal rights, and then they took a group of people and called them subhuman and annihilated them and exterminated them. So their societal norms were very, very nice until they weren't, right? The Torah doesn't change. The Torah is divine. It comes from a much loftier place that got to the depths of the understanding of what goes on in the human mind, in the psyche. So when a person applies that all the time, from a place of divinity, from a place of aligning with Hashem and trying to be like Hashem, he increases peace in the world. Therefore, a person who's a Talmid Chacham is learning Torah a lot. But for sure he's increasing peace in the world. Whether it's between man and his fellow man, or man and his wife. Even more so, we have to hold on to peace in order to be able to keep the word of Hashem. The Torah calls us, Hashem calls us in the Torah, Am chacham v'navon hagoy hagadol hazeh, a wise and deep in understanding nation, this great nation. By the way, here's a proof to all the people that say goy is a bad word. God called the Jewish people a goy. We're also a nation. The word goy means nation. The fact that the Jews called the non-Jews goyim is because they are the nations. There's one nation, the Jewish people, and then there's the nations. It's not a derogatory term. We're also called goy. But here we have a promise from the Torah that Hashem is saying the nation of Israel is a smart, deep, understanding people. Rav Itzhak Pereira is telling us, let's make sure that stays true. Let's be the ones that make sure that Hashem is not telling lies, God forbid, in the Torah. So if we are wise, like the Torah calls us, like Hashem calls us in the Torah, then we have to love peace and pursue peace. A wise person loves peace and pursues peace. Even when it comes to judgments, which the Torah is known to be filled with court cases and judgments, even then we have to be in a state of peace. Remember we were talking, Kobe? We said that a Beit Din that killed someone in 70 years was called bloodthirsty, right? Why? How could you even say something? If it's a court case and you're meant to get to the bottom of the truth, so for sure more than one person died in 70 years. For sure people did things that were... But that's the whole thing, that in judgment, even there we're trying to find peace. I think Shimi mentioned it, I'm not sure, but if you had 70 judges in the Sanhedrin all rule the same guilty verdict, he went out free. Did Shimi say something like this? Maybe not. I was learning a different... Meaning you had 70 judges, all of them said guilty, the person walked out free. Not one person found him to be innocent. 70 people, not one person made the effort to try to get to... And it can't be that outright, across the board, everybody here sees him as completely guilty. That's humanly not logical.
That's the opposite of the American justice system, right?
Correct. Right there, even one judge says it, you're done, right? They didn't even have multiple judges. That's already a problem. The American justice system is just one judge. It's already a problem. Judaism, you have to have at least 3 judges, right? And why always an odd number?
So the majority rules.
So the majority rules, right? But if across the board you guys are sure of the verdict, so that means either you guys cut corners in your judgment, or there's something fishy going on here. Because again, the point is to find peace. The point is to prove him innocent. So how could it be that across the board, all of you guys are going to rule the same thing as guilty? It makes no sense, right? These are deep things that are, again, divine wisdoms. And once you start to uncover them and you start to learn them, you go deeper and deeper, you realize, okay, no human being could have ever came up with that rule. No human being would have ever gotten to that place of understanding to include also all of the human minds, the group of 70 men, all these different depths that come out to a ruling that you say, everybody here agrees he murdered, that means he's innocent. Very, very deep. Again, I'm saying it on one foot, that these things take, a Dayan learns for 20 years, 11 years minimum if he sits every single day. 20 years to become a Jewish judge. That's not a small thing. It's harder than any other type of learning you have in all of the Torah. Because of this. Because it has to be done from a place of wanting peace. Of trying to get peace. Not, I know best and you're guilty and let's rule and just get this case over with. No. Let's get to the depth. What is the truest truth here? כי הגם שיש משפט אין שלום כי מוכרח לזכות אחד ולחייב אחד. In judgments, for the most part, there isn't peace. One person's going to be wrong, one person's going to be right, one person's going to have to pay, one person's going to receive. אפילו אחי יבקש דין שלום. Even though that's the case, you should seek out to have peace. Even in that. כמו Aharon, like Aharon, it's bolded here, you see? Like Aharon. שהיה עושה כן תדיר. Aharon, the Kohen, Moshe's brother, would do this all the time. והיה מפשר ביניהם כדי שיהיו כולם בשלום. He would always try to settle between two people so that they would always be in peace. I don't know if he says it here, maybe. I'm going to go ready from it, but there was 80,000 children. 80,000 children that were named Aharon. It's from all the peace that he made. Men and women that wanted to get divorced, that wanted to separate, he made peace between them. They named the first child that came out Aharon. And when he passed away, there was 80,000, Chazal say, children named Aharon in the world that came to his funeral. So what he was doing all day long. He would always make this peace between them. וגם השם ייתן הטוב לשבחו בזה שלום. So too, Hashem will give him the praise for going in this peace. ומישור הלך איתי ורבים השיב מעון, כי על ידי זה פורק קנאה ושנאה ותחרות איבה וגזל מכל ישראל. Bringing peace and trying to make peace removes jealousy and hatred and competition and stealing and all these horrible traits that could be in the nation of Israel, in anybody's life. Making peace removes all those things. If I love you and I want the good for you and you want the good for me, then what are we, competition? I'm jealous of you. Everything you get, I'm happy for you. I'm very happy for you. There's a play on words that we can do on the Mishnah. Is Mihu Ashir, who is a rich person? Asamech bechelko. Whoever's happy in his own portion, right? That's how we learn it classically. Who's happy? Who's rich? Whoever's happy with their own portion. But in Hebrew, chelko, asamech bechelko, he's happy with his portion. That's how it means. Who's a rich person? Whoever's happy with his portion. Whose portion? His portion. His portion. His portion. I'm happy that you guys have everything you have. I'm rich already. If I can be happy with what everybody else has, I am rich. Right? So it's not only your own portion. Your own portion for sure, but be happy with others' portion. That also increases wealth. So too, Hashem calls us Shuvi Shuvi Hashulamit in Song of Songs, Shir HaShirim. Return, my whole one, my peaceful one. In the Midrash Rabbah it says, Am HaShalom, the nation of peace. Am Yisrael. Right? And the world gets scared and shocked that we're acting so strong in the world. That's peace. We're bringing peace. Destroying evil people is bringing peace. Right? Peace doesn't mean sunflower and peace signs and bandana. That's not peace. Peace means completion and understanding amongst all nations that we're here together to serve Hashem. And anybody that opposes that is a threat to the peace of the world. And the people that love peace the most will act in a way to remove that threat to peace from the world. Hashem yitbarach shu shalom shel kol ha'olam shoreh bo. Hashem, who is the peace of the whole entire world, the shalom of the whole entire world, rests inside Am Yisrael, the nation of peace. If we are true Israelites and not Erev Rav, we have to love truth truthfully. We have to love peace truthfully, sorry. So too, this is what Hashem says by way of the Navi, Zechariah, Emet u'mishpat shalom shaftu b'sha'arechem. Emet and mishpat, truth and justice, shalom, peace, judge in your gates. So how does the judgment in your gates have to be? Truth, justice, and peace. That's what makes up the deen of Am Yisrael. That's how a Jewish judge, Jewish leaders should be leading the people. Right? Truth, justice, not UN justice, Torah justice, right? And peace. כי איך אפשר משפט ושלום שישפוט אם לא כמשל אהרון, וכן דוד המלך עליו השם שבחו השם יתברך ויהי דוד עושה משפט וצדקה לכל עמו. How could you judge without peace? We have to be like Aharon. We have to be like David HaMelech. And then Hashem says, like he says about David HaMelech, he'll say about us, ויהי דוד עושה משפט וצדקה לכל עמו. David was doing mishpat and tzedakah for his whole entire nation. The rabbis also say, in Sanhedrin it says, Aval pshat pasuk nira, zeh mishpat shalom amiti l'chol Yisrael. Right? There's all these different teachings on that pasuk, but the simple understanding is that there's peace for all of Israel. By way of David making things righteous and true and peaceful, it brought peace to the whole entire nation. So too we have a will from our forefather, from our first forefather. Ha'adam ha'gadol ba'anakim. The greatest of the greatest giants, Avraham Avinu alav shalom, peace be on him, Abraham our forefather. Asher shivcho Hashem debarach ve'id alav sheken yitzaveh et banav ve'et beito acharav. Hashem testified on him, praised him, and said that he shall make a testimony and a promise to his children, a commandment to his children after him. Shishmeu derech Hashem la'asot tzedakah u'mishpat bevat achad. Please guard the way of Hashem to do tzedakah and mishpat at once, meaning din v'shalom. There has to be judgment, and it has to be done in a way of peace. That's like David HaMelech's path. This is the way of Hashem. Mishpat and tzedakah. Justice and peace. The rabbis say, there's, so to say, two scales in the heavens. When Hashem sees that the side of sins, iniquities, has gotten too heavy, so what does Hashem do, so to say? The Midrash tells us, Kovesh avonot, lovesh tzedakot. Hashem conquers the iniquities, meaning he pushes them down, the importance and the gravity, the graveness, right? How intense they are, the sins that we have. He pushes them down, subdues them, and cloaks himself in the righteous acts of Israel. This is what I wear. This is what I'm choosing to show off. The sins, they're there. He doesn't make them disappear. It's just they get diminished in the light of this garment that comes on, which is all the righteous acts of the nation of Israel. Hainu, meaning, shoseh otam meutim. It just makes these sins so much smaller. V'achar kach sheilech gam zeh me'at, and after, when even that little bit is atoned for and it gets removed, bishvil tzedakot shelovesh yitbarach miYisrael. How will that happen? By way of the righteousness that, so to say, becomes the garment of Hashem. All the righteous acts, all the good deeds that the nation of Israel has made. Right? How many technologies have we created? People like to talk about the side of technology for the side of technology. But if we're truly chasing after peace, because they were a nation of peace, so then ways and cancer research and chips for computers and cell phones and all of these things, although they could be used in a negative way, what was the Jew intending when he created those things? Let's make the world a better place. Let's make the world easier to navigate, easier to communicate, more communication between people who build bridges of peace. Less cancer in the world is a good thing, right? All of these intentions were holy, pure intentions from the Creator, right? That came down into the Jewish mind to create all of these different things. And then he has here the most breastive line possible. Straight from Resh Bet, he only changes one word. From Azamra and Rabbi Nachman, the 282nd teaching, he just changes one line. It's impossible that no Jew has never done a little piece of charity, a little bit of tzedakah. Rabbi Nachman uses the word mitzvah instead of tzedakah, but it's the exact same sentence. And from that good deed, from that tzedakah, from that mitzvah, becomes a garment. They're made a garment for Hashem. Hashem wears righteousness, wears good deeds like armor. This is, so to say, bribery that the nation of Israel can give to God. There's a thing that they say, Hashem is the ultimate judge. He can't take bribery, right? But it says that if we are precise with our food and we make a blessing to Hashem from the small things and the big things that we eat, then Hashem is Yisa Panav Elecha. Hashem will shine His countenance on us. Meaning, so to say, there's certain ways that we can push the hand of Hashem that even if we're not deserving, Hashem will still shine His countenance on us, still shine His face on us. One of the ways to do that is to make peace all the time. Right? The blessing of the Kohanim, Yisa Hashem Panav Elecha. Hashem will shine His countenance on you, shine His face on you. And how does the blessing end? Yasem Lecha Shalom, He'll give you peace. ועל זה מוכח שמאכל גם זה, כמו שכתוב יצחק אבינו עליו שלום. So too, from this we see, right, we have an obligation from Avram Avinu that we are his children. We have to act in a way of judgment and peace. Judgment and peace. Because that's what Avram learned from Hashem. And so too we see from Yitzhak. There's a story in the Gemara of Yitzhak Avinu. It says, Dal 20 shanim, Dal kaf, hey shana, Yishahu yudbeit, chetzi alai, chetzi alecha. There's a whole story that the Jewish people are deserving of being wiped out. And Hashem asks Avram, what do you have to say? So if they really did everything you're saying, they're deserving of punishment. Wipe them out. Avram, chesed, loving kindness, didn't have what to say to defend us. Comes to Yaakov, complete truth, balance, mercy. The Jewish people did this. They're deserving of being wiped out. If they did that, that's the truth. What are we going to do? Come to Yitzhak, the father of justice, of deen, of gvura, of might. And Hashem says, look, the Jewish people did this, they're deserving of being wiped out. What do you have to say? He says, really? Okay, judgments. Let's go into the judgments. What happened here? First things first, they're half my children, half your children. So I'll take half, you take half? We're the parents, right? All of a sudden, that's done. Then he says it goes this whole thing. Half the time they're sleeping, then they're eating. They can't do sins in those times. So remove all that. What are we left with? In the end, I did the order backwards. In the end, after Yitzhak removes all these times where we can't sin, where we're too busy doing good or just inactive, then there's 12 hours left. And he turns to Hashem, he says, you take half, I'll take half. Now they're clean. That was our father of judgment. Not the one of love, not the one of mercy, not the one... Judgment. Pure judgment, when it's done in a place of peace, that's pure judgment. What's the truth here, Hashem? You created them. I'm their father. So who's the wrong? It's us. We should have made better children. Didn't make better children. It's our fault. You take half of it, I'll take half of it. That's Yitzhak. And that's why he said the Geulah is going to come through Yitzhak. He's able to laugh at this world. Yitzhak comes from the word tzchok. It's a laughter. Go ahead.
But didn't he prefer Esau over Yaakov?
The Torah says that, but really what was going on there? It's the same idea here. He's my son. He's off the derech. So I should show him more love. And that's an instruction now for all the times now. If you have a child in your house that's acting like Esav, act like Yitzchak Avinu and give him more love. Right? Meaning what was he trying to do? Don't forget that's Yaakov's twin brother. Until 15 years old, they were both tzadikim. They were doing the exact same thing every single day, learning the same Torahs. It's a righteous kid. And then he went off. What does his father say? I love you more than anything. I want to give you love no matter what. Don't think that Esav actually saw it. That Yitzhak actually saw Esav as holier than Yaakov. He has the potential to be, they're twin brothers, so even if you want to say they have the same potential, it's enough to daven and to pray for your child to be better. But not that he loved his actions more than he loved the actions of Yaakov. For sure, Yaakov was the righteous one. It's just, when you have a child that's going off, you have an obligation as a parent to love him more than the rest. Not like we see oftentimes in our generation, in the religious community, that the kid that misbehaves gets kicked out the house. And the cookie cutter that doesn't ever do anything wrong, but he's just a cookie cutter, he's nothing special about him either, he gets praised in the house. The kid that's misbehaving is the one that's screaming out for love more. So, B'shataku itbarach, when Yitzhak said this to Hashem, Hashem stayed quiet. What does Hashem want in this world? He wants a person that's going to look at the Jews and flip them from being guilty into innocent, no matter what it takes. To find the good in all of their actions, to transform all of that negative energy into positive. Right? So, when Yitzhak said this, Hashem didn't have what to say. This is exactly what I want. I was just looking. That's why I went to Avraham. He couldn't do it. I went to Yaakov. He couldn't do it. Finally, I came to you. And you were able to say, no, I'll take it. It's not them. What are they? You're going to blame them? Half the time they're eating, they're sleeping. What are they doing? Sins? And if so, I'll clean it up. That's the Jewish leader, right? Moshe Rabbeinu gets told the Jewish people are going to get wiped out. What does he say? Take me out your book, Hashem. If that's what you want to do to the Jewish people, erase me from the Torah. The Torah is called Torat Moshe, the Torah of Moshe. Moshe said, I don't want anything. I want this nation to get inside the land of Israel. And if you don't want to do that, if you're going to kill them here in the desert, take me out your book. These are the leaders that Hashem wants. People that can look at Jews across the world and individuals, and the hardest work is to do with the people in front of you. To see the good inside of them, and to see everything that maybe looks bad, to find how it could be good, to find how to switch it. Again, we're not talking about justifying in actions. We're talking about judging people favorably. If you would judge the world of pure justice without shalom, the world wouldn't last for a second. Right? Hashem desired to create the world with midat adin. The Kabbalists tell us, said that it couldn't work. Shitef ito midat harachamim. All of a sudden you have to bring now inside the meat of mercy, the trait of mercy, to balance it out. Hashem wanted it to be, you do the right thing, you get a reward. You don't, so to say, wanted it to be, whatever that means. Hashem doesn't change his mind. But this is a teaching. The world cannot exist from a place of pure judgment, of black and white. Bereshit bara Elohim. How does the Torah start? Bereshit bara Elohim. Shebaranu ra'a, he wanted to create it in midat adin. Saw that it can't exist that way. Brought in a partner of rachamim, mercy. Let's have judgments. Tzedek u'mishpat. Mishpat is the judgments, but we need the peace to be in there. We need the mercy to be in there. Like it says, B'yom asot Hashem Elokim eretz v'shamayim. On the day that Hashem Elokim, Hashem is always mercy, Yud-Kei Vav-Kei, was, is, and will be. Elokim is always nature, judgments, hardships. Those two names together, meaning Hashem in all facets, made eretz v'shamayim, earth and heavens. And that's how the world stays in existence. And this is Hashem's commandment to us in Zechariah, Emet u'mishpat shalom shaftu b'sha'arechem. Truth, justice, peace shall be your judgments and your gates. V'zeh naichadi. And this fits, Rav Aharon says. This seems to be the truth. Last little page. Don't say, there's a saying in the Torah, in the Tanakh, in the Gemara, you use it a lot. Should let the judgments, let the true judgment completely like shatter the mountain. You have a mountain of all this, a big case, use judgments, boom! Meaning full fight, whatever, throw the book of the law at him, like they say in English, right? The whole entire book, full judgments. Don't say that, God forbid. This is not really what Hashem wants. It's not Hashem's truest desire that we all come out full din. Hashem would rather prefer mishpat shalom, justice with peace. This is what caused the destruction of Jerusalem and the destruction of the enemies of Israel. Here's a little lesson, guys. Just so you know, if you ever hear the rabbi saying something very bad will come to the enemies of Israel, just know usually they're talking about the Jews. It's just we don't want to say that bad thing will happen to the Jews, so we say it to the enemies of Israel. But the enemies of Israel is a hint to when the Jews are not doing the right thing. So he's saying here, the fact that people want to use Torah to go full force and full judgments, right? That's what caused destruction to the enemies of Israel. Talking about the two temples, the Jews, not the... We want there to be peace in Israel. There's a story in the Gemara that there was workers that they broke barrels of wine of their master. Their master happened to be one of the rabbis, one of the Tanaim of the time. And they were workers that were getting paid to watch over this wine cellar, right? They weren't just doing a favor. They're getting a paid wage. If you're working to guard something and it breaks on your watch, you're obligated to pay. I hired you to work as a security guard and some damage was done on your watch. The onus is on you to pay now. So the Torah, these people were guarding the wine barrels of this Rav, and they broke. The Torah obligates them to pay. He took their clothing away from them so that they would pay him. They came to the Rav, and they told on him. They said, this is what happened, now he took our clothing and we can't. He said to them, give them back their clothing. They came in front of Beit Din. The Beit Din now you have, right? These two guards that broke the barrels, the owner that took the clothing from them until they pay the money for the barrels. And they come inside a Beit Din, in front of a Beit Din for a case. He's giving us an example of everything he just taught us, the importance of peace, right? And how the Torah can sometimes even tell you something's like this, the truth, but there's a deeper peace level that needs to come with that judgment. So now we have this case. They broke the wine barrels while working and getting paid to guard over them. They have to pay according to Torah. He wants them to pay, so he took something from them as collateral until they pay. Come to the judgments. The rabbi says to them, give them back their clothing and you don't take any money from them. He said to them, this is the judgment? It's the exact opposite. He said to him, yeah, it is. Why? Because we want you to go deeper than the letter of the law. There's a pasuk that says, for the sake of walking in the path of good people. That's what we want from you. Again, don't forget the owner is a rabbi, he's a tzaddik, right? So he comes for judgment. He's not like a regular person. It could be that a regular person, that their wine was damaged, they would come in front of him and they'll tell him, yeah, you guys have to pay. But here you have one of the tzadikim of the generation coming in judgment. So the judges, although they're not allowed to really treat the case differently, they're trying to help their colleague here get to a deeper level. Amru HaPoalim, the workers said, we don't have food. We don't even have food. Make him pay us. We worked, let him pay us. Amar lo ten lehem. The judge said to the rabbi, pay them. Amar lo kach din. This is the judge. This is the judgments. This is the ruling. This is the opposite of the truth. Amar lo kedei likayem ve'orchot tzadikim tishmo. There's another pasuk that says orchot tzadikim tishmo. The ways of the tzadikim, the ways of the righteous, you shall guard. We want you to keep that. Just pay them the money. See what's going on here? You don't like it?
That's it.
We don't see that this judge that ruled this case, completely the opposite of what the truth was, we don't see that he was punished. He for sure did the opposite of the truth. They should have paid. He didn't owe them anything. Definitely not wages. They owed him money. And they don't deserve their wages. He did the exact opposite of what the Torah wanted him to do. Or did he? Right? There's an outright commandment from the Torah to not pay attention to a poor person's claims in a court case. The fact that you're poor means now have to take that into consideration. You broke the law, you broke the law. Rich or poor, you have to pay. Right? And that's proper righteousness. Not the fact that now you don't have food, so now you're exempt from paying. With food or no food, you broke the law, you broke the law. Whatever the law says is the punishment or the outcome of that ruling, that's the ruling. Outright in the Torah tells you not to take into consideration a person's financial or status, financial status, whether they're rich or poor. So how did this Chacham do this? He took money out of a rabbi, out of a person, in an unethical way. All because he loved peace and truth more than that sage. So it's not really that he went, meaning, yes, the case on an individual level, so to say, the rulings were against the Torah. But why didn't he get punished for doing that? Because the rabbi that's going through the case actually wanted peace. It's very hard for him. He says, oh, this is the ruling. They keep answering him, what do we want you to do? We want you to be tzaddik. We want you to be righteous. We want you to go above the letter of the law. At the end, he accepted the payment. He could have argued. He could have told them, no, I'm not accepting your payment. Go to a different Beit Din and reject you guys. You guys are going against the Torah. Outright, you're going against the Torah. But what did he love more than the ruling and the judgment and his money that he had? Peace and love. I went to a judge. He ruled that this is what I have to do. Why? Because he wants me to act from a place of love and peace. I love that more than I love my own money. I love that more than I love the truth of this world and this judgment even. The deepest truth is Hashem wants us all to be a love and peace with each other. That doesn't mean, this story is not coming to tell us outright that we, Iran's coming at us now, so we do love and peace. No. Let the rabbis decide when they want to change the rulings. Let them they see deeper, right? For us in our day-to-day life, yes, we have to follow the rules of the Torah. Someone steals from you, he owes you the money back. He owes you the object back, right? We wanted that. With that said, in the judgment, do I have to hate the person that's standing on the other side of the defendant's chair or the plaintiff's chair? We're here to get to the truth. We're standing in front of the judges to try to find peace and truth in this world. Not to be, I'm right, you're wrong, pay me my money, get at it. No. We're coming here to settle. Right? There's a beautiful thing in the Jewish world that we have a Beit Din. We have mediators, we have Beit Dins, we have cases that we go in front of rabbis and we talk things out. For example, I've been through this here in Tzfat. You work with a certain person, dispute on a salary, how much hours you worked, you didn't work, a dispute. Why fight now between manager and employee? Why fight? You have your claim, I have my claim, this is how you see it, this is how I see it. Let's go to a third party. From a place of peace. I want to show up tomorrow and stay working with you. Tomorrow I'm going to have to deal with you again. I don't hate you. Your claim is valid. My claim is also valid. We both have strong claims. Let's go to the third party. Whatever the Torah says. Can we accept what the Torah says? Yeah. A lot of times, that would be a beautiful thing if we could practice that more. What happens, unfortunately, is people want to go to court cases and people want to go now and they're ruling off of English laws and Goyish laws and Ottoman laws and American laws, which are not going to help us come to the truth. And even if you do it in a kosher Beit Din, your mindset has to be in, I love the person that's across from me, that I'm either accusing or being accused of. Bye-bye. I love them. I want peace with them. Let's get through this case to try to find out the peace, and let's move on with life from a place of peace. He says, look inside the Reshit Chochmah and the gate of humility. What is written about this? B'vadai nasa adayan ahuv mishnei tzaddim. The dayan, the judge in this case, became loved from both sides. right? The people that broke the wine and the rabbi, they both were able to see that the judge loves both of them, and he wants for the good of both of them. Because it's known that the rabbi in the case, the one that had to pay and lost money and everything, the deen was against him, so to say, for him it counts tzedakah in front of Hashem. All the money he just gave away, what was it for? A poor person that doesn't have what to pay, he gave tzedakah. He didn't lose a court case, he gave tzedakah. וגם המקבל לא נתבייש בזה כלל, בחושבו, כי שלא הוא נוטל, וזה המדרגה הגדולה ממעלת הצדקה. So now, what happens? The person that broke it, he doesn't feel embarrassed. Why? He asked for his wages. He really did work. He messed up on the job, but he worked. He earned that money, so to say. Everybody left that court case feeling better. Okay, Pseder, I lost wine and I lost money, but I made peace in the world. The rabbi is on a level where he should be able to understand as a Talmid Chacham, the number one thing you have to increase in the world is peace. So he left the court case, losing the physical court case, and increasing peace in the world. He won. The other guy that was poor, didn't have what to eat, worked, wasn't going to get a wage. Not only that, he was going to be in debt. Left with money. They both left appreciating Torah more, appreciating the judge more, appreciating Hashem more. Because the true justice system, again, is Hashem's justice system. And the Dayan that sat for 20 years to try to get a level where he can make peace in judgment between two people, saw that this is what he needed to do in this case. That becomes the truth. 2 paragraphs left. ודאי ידע מה גרם למעלה על ידי שגם השם יתברך ייתן נטוב בזכותו לכל ישראל מכל וחומר ממנו. ומה בני אדם עושים לפנים משורת הדין, השם יתברך לו, כל שכן. What happened in this case? What did the judge cause in this case? That Hashem also is going to look down above the letter of the law. Yeah, there's the letter of the law here. And the rabbi took it into his own hands at this point to go above the letter of the law. You do owe him, he doesn't owe you. Now I want to switch it. You're a big tzaddik, take this one, pay him. You learn not to break things when you got off easy now, but peace, increase of peace. And if we do that down here, with all the hardships that it is to do it down here, Hashem's not going to do it for us. You sinned all year long. Hashem's not going to give you forgiveness now in Elul and Rosh Hashanah. According to the judgments, you should be burning in a couple hundred degrees. Right? But no, Hashem looks down and he says, more mercy, above the letter of the law. One last paragraph. ודאי רבא בר חנן אהב לדיין אהבה עזה שעשה לו את זה. For sure, the rabbi that lost the case, so to say, for sure loved the dayan, that he gave him such an opportunity to purify himself and to increase peace in the world. And this is the secret of ochach lechacham v'yaveka. There's a pasuk in Proverbs from Shlomo Melech, Mishle, in the 9th chapter, in the 8th verse. It says, rebuke the wise person and he'll love you. It tells you not to rebuke foolish people, they'll just hate you. But a wise person, you come and you tell him, hey, that thing that you did wasn't right. You're better than that. And also another hint here is how you rebuke someone. Don't come and say, hey, you're so stupid, what are you doing? Say, you're so wise, it's not befitting of you to do something like that. Pure neshama v'yid, a Jew, a holy person. It's not right for you to act that way. You rebuked him from a place of wisdom, you're wise, you're worthy, you're not like that, he'll love you. But here it means the simple meaning. When you talk to a wise person, a person that knows a lot of Torah, and you want to give them a rebuke, say it outright, not disrespectfully, but say it outright, the exact thing. The Baal Shem Tov talks to this on the well. When you're dealing with people that know Torah, when you rebuke them, you have to say it, so to say, sharply, like outright forwardly, but obviously with utmost respect. Don't ever rebuke your rabbis or your fathers. If you ever want to do that, then you ask it in a question form. Rabbi, didn't you teach us this? And you leave it at that. Don't say, Rabbi, you did this and it was wrong. That's against the Torah. Right? There's ways to do it as well, obviously, because the awe and the fear that we need from these people also teach us about the awe and fear of a God. Last 3 lines. כיוון שמבין שהאור הנפש אשר בתוכו רצוף אהבה אשר תלמדהו, שעל ידי מעט אכזריות שיראה לו, זיקה וזכות גדול, אין סוף ואין קץ ודוק עמהם דברי אמת ושלום. What happened here? How could this rabbi love the judge more? Because look at the words of Rav Aharon. Since he understands that the light of his soul that is inside of him is flowing with love that needs to be taught and brought out, So then he understands by a little bit of cruelness of the judge, meaning flipping the judgments and making him have to pay now something that he was deserving, a little bit of cruelness, he purified him and gave him a rectification that has no measure, infinite levels of purity he received by way of that backwards judgment. And understand everything here is the words of truth and peace. Ad Kan is the teachings of Moreno Rabbeinu, Rabbi Aharon Eliyahu Rafael Moshe Chaim Ben Judita Zechet Tzadik Kadosh Livracha B'ezrat Hashem. Beautiful book, Michtam Shalom B'Yerushalayim V'Yisrael. The teachings of Rabbi Eliyahu Pereira. Rabbi Zochet, to learn a little bit more. He has such beautiful teachings in here, such beautiful things. B'ezrat Hashem. Hashem bless us.